friends, Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, and Team Lines of Poetry Collection. I am so excited to be bringing you a new video, and today is something new. I love trying new things and just exploring different books with you guys and spotlighting and sharing my favorite books. Today is definitely one of my favorite books. I love this story. It is so amazing. It is epic Asian fantasy. It was brought to my attention by the author when a friend of mine was like, hey, I think you would like her book. And the author was advertising or sharing her book like Kenshin meets something. And I just remember at that time that I was binge watching Kenshin with my husband and was sold as soon as she said the word Kenshin if it is Kenshin vibes. And yes, it definitely does have Kenshin vibes. The said book I am going to be gushing about is Shadow's Hand by Noelle Nicholas. I love this story. And like I mentioned, we're doing something new. I'm going to be going through the first 100 pages of Shadow's Hand and talking about some of my reactions to the characters, as well as play a bookish game. You might have seen this game online. I've seen it in a few different groups. It doesn't actually have a title, I believe, but it is pick a book and then decide which characters to push off a cliff, kiss, marry, set on fire, wrap it a blanket around, be roommates with. Now, I'm going to do a disclaimer, okay? Because some of these I would never actually do in real life, and I am happily married. So some of these, even if I chose it, we're going to say in the fictional for this video only kind of context, okay? Just have to leave that disclaimer out there. I'm also not an extremely mean person, so setting somebody on fire is a really hard one to even think about doing. But there is a character in this book that I really don't like. I will not actually be focusing much on them because they're not technically really in the first 100 pages, so I'm sorry that I don't get to rant about that character. But maybe another day I will. So, are you ready to dive into Shadow's Hand? This here is Kilo on the cover. He is my fictional senpai. Noelle is my real life senpai, just to throw that out there. I love this character. I gushed about him in my All Kinds of Heroes book tag. I will leave a link below as well as the time frame that I talked about him in case you would like to go hear what I said. He is definitely one of my favorite bookish heroes, and I immensely enjoyed breezing through this book again for this video. So like I said, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to flip through the first 100 pages. I have my handy dandy list with me so that I can keep track and not be here all day. Which I wouldn't mind talking about Kilo and these characters all day, but I don't know if you would be up for that all day because we all have things we have to do. So, enough rambling. Let's dive into this thing. First page, part 1, Kilo. And chapter 1. So Kilo is mentioned a lot. He is the main character. So I'm just going to go ahead and say what I would do for his because there's a lot of good feels with him. And I actually forgot how full of feels the opening was for this book. There is a lot of different things and I sort of forgot about that. I mean, I knew there were a lot of feels, a lot of emotions, but then reading it again and I'm just like, man, like this really hits in the heart. Since he is my fictional senpai, I would not marry him. Like, the idea of marrying Kilo is really weird, even like in a fictional sense. So I'm going to say that we would be roommates together because he is so encouraging and I am literally like a little kid around him, just following and modeling all of the things that he does because being like Kilo, it would be super duper cool. So in the beginning, there's some fighting that is going on here in Kilo. He is helping a little girl and a woman. There's a guy who we're not even going to mention because this dude he need to go. He need to go. He's causing problems for people. Kilo looking heroic because this dude causing problems, which I'm totally okay with Kilo looking heroic because he's just absolutely incredible. He's going to have some allies that pop up going through a little bit because I don't want to give you guys too many spoilers. However, he's going to be meeting a female. We don't actually know who she is, but she does have a pretty cool conversation with Kilo. Again, not going to go into details, but I do want to mention, let me close the book, stop real quick. Shadow's Hand is free on Amazon if you want to go snag this book right now. And if you're like, I'm international, it's not free where I live, don't worry. I'm going to leave the link below to the Amazon link and for international readers to still snag this book for free. You and every person watching this video or who's not watching this video can go get Shadow's Hand for free online at some book retailer. So definitely check it out. I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible. We're mainly just talking about characters, not saying big things about them, but just my reactions to them and what I would do for this said game. Just need to throw that out there. Boom. Thank you for letting me share that. Let's get back to reading Shadow's Hand. As I was saying, there is a woman that Kilo meets. And from the brief kind of conversation he has with her and how we meet her, she seems pretty cool. I would be down for meeting her. I don't know if I'd want to be roommates though. But that's sort of the only one I could think of that I would do, so maybe be roommates and just hope that she is a good guy and not a bad guy, because that'd be pretty bad for me. The next person that we are going to be meeting is Phantom Curel. It is going to be Kilo's Phantom, basically his mentor, and his have many feels with him. I'm actually not going to say my personal reaction to him because I feel it's sort of be a spoiler, but it would not be positive. We'll just leave it at that. It would not be a positive thing. We skipped to a chapter or two ahead. We are on Fine, and she is so incredibly lovely, guys. I love Fine. She's actually Kilo's sister, and she is super duper kind. Hands down, I'd want to be roommates with her because she can totally just make our room as artistically amazing as she wants. Hands down, have no problems with that. I'll go get her some paintbrushes and some paint and let her do her work because I love that she is an artist and how colorful and how bright she makes life for Kilo and for everybody else and for the reader too. Here it's getting a little bit harder to say things, okay? But the next two people we're going to meet are actually a brother and sister, and that is Shinrei and Cyrene. I really like them. You get to meet them more or discover them more, not sure you would say that, later on in the book, and I'm sort of sad I can't say a bunch of things about them. However, we're gonna go with being roommates with, again, because I really like them. And actually, hold on, let me think about this. It would be between be roommates with and wrap a blanket around. So if we go from this scene, from this chapter, this page of mine, which is on page 57, I would actually say wrap a blanket around. Can't say anything else there with that. Zavi is another character that you're going to meet during this time, and he too would need to be wrapped around with a blanket. There is one other person as well. I have to go backtrack a little bit because I forgot to mention somebody I realized that was on my list. There is Mia, who's going to need another blanket wrapped around. They just need a whole bunch of blankets. I hope I have like a bunch in store right now. There are some false shadows, guys, that make an appearance. They need to be pushed off a cliff. That is what they need to go do. They need to just get out the picture. We don't need them. Just move aside, move away. Nobody wants you around right now. Just get out. Just get out. I forgot to mention them because, yeah, I didn't like them. And apparently I forgot about that. So I left in my list because, yeah, I just know. Nope. We don't want them around. And just to give some context, if you're like, who in the world is this shadow and this false shadow? Kilo is an actual real shadow. He is a warrior. They call themselves the Phantoms in the Shadows. But throw in these false shadows who are impersonating the real shadows and causing some mayhem. They're burning villages. They're doing super bad stuff. They're killing people. Fast forward past these false shadows and two people that are walking up. And we're going to meet Phantom. I have been calling her Phantom Luna, but there's an I in there. I feel bad because I just realized there was an I and I've just always pronounced it as Phantom Luna. However, she makes a scene and she is really sweet, and I'm really thankful for her character and how she is touching some of these other characters. She's sweet. She was greatly needed. I think we would make really good roommates. We would be really cool together and we can go comfort some other people and hopefully make them smile. And we'll also, as we meet her, we are going to be meeting someone else, and that is Astar. There's a lot I could say about Astar, guys. A lot, because maybe not at this said moment, but I don't really like Astar, and I feel bad because I know friends who absolutely love him, and I am not one of those people right now. When reading Shadow's Hand for the second time, I still have misgivings towards him, I guess you would say. I really don't know what I would say, guys, for Astar. I don't think we would be roommates. I wouldn't kill him off. Push off a cliff is probably the closest one, but even that feels really extreme. I'm definitely not setting him on fire because that's even like more extreme. So I don't know. I guess feel bad. I guess we go push off a cliff. I don't know. I feel bad for that though. I'm sorry, Astar. I'm sorry, Astar fans. That's not a happier kind of reaction to said Astar. We're fast forwarding again, and right now we are on page 85, so we are almost to the end of the first 100 pages, and we are going to be meeting a man called Kefner, who I do not like, okay? I got reasons why I don't really like this dude, and he'd be going right up there with Push Off a Cliff, and I feel bad because I don't technically think he's a bad guy. I think it's just my reaction to Kefner, and just my perception of him going with that, because in this scene with Kefner, you have awesome, amazing Kilo, as always, but you also meet somebody else, and his name is Iruku. He definitely needs to be wrapped in a blanket for sure, and Kilo can be his heroic self during all of this, but Kefner can go, I guess, be pushed off the cliff while we just wrap Iruku in a warm blanket and ignore Kefner. I feel bad. Remember my disclaimer, guys. Remember my disclaimer. And the last person that makes a scene not by coming on the scene, but is mentioned is Hattori. Alright, Hattori, guys, I really don't like. And she would be the one, I feel so bad. She would be the one that would be set on fire, guys. Because she causes the biggest problems for Kilo. Like, so many. Like, I wish I could just gush more about her. And all the things that she causes and all of the problems. Because if she was not there, half of Kilo's problems would be gone in an instant. They would just vanish. You know what I mean? They would just be gone. If she was gone, Kilo's problems would all be mainly gone. But that is all I can say because we are at page 100. So I will stop there, and those are my reactions to characters we meet in the first 100 pages of Shadow's Hand. The whole book is really, really good, guys. I could have definitely kept going and talking more about these other characters because you get to know some of them a lot better as the book progresses, which is awesome. Remember, Shadow's Hand is free on multiple book retailer sites. I've left the link below in the description box. Definitely go snag your free copy and tell me what you think. Book 2 is supposed to be releasing later this year. I cannot wait. Let me know if you like reading Asian fantasy, if you like Henshin, who your favorite character is, and if you've read Shadow's Hand, what are some of your reactions and thoughts on some of these characters I talked about today. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!